Saludos amigos and welcome back to El Balcón Mariachero episode 2. Sorry it's been a while since our last episode, but a lot has happened within these past months of December, January, and February. It's
Wait, when was the last time we did the podcast?
it was early December, no?
Was it December?
I'll say.
Yeah, it was before Christmas break.
Yeah, it was right. Yeah, it was before Christmas break. Because we had just said that in the last episode we finished with all our finals y todo eso. But oh my God, has a lot happened not only with us but in the mariachi world as well. This past December, en el Día de la Virgen de Guadalupe, we lost a great ídolo de mariachi, Vicente Fernández, que descansa en paz. And that was some crazy news to hear. You know, when he passed away the day of Virgen de Guadalupe, and I know a lot of us charros were out there busy working. But other than that, a lot has changed with us, with the university, you know.
Just a lot has happened. We were delayed 2 weeks before we were coming in person to come to school. So I was still in Chicago for the first 2 weeks. I didn't come until what the last
30th, 31st, 30th.
the 30th.
Well, I think for all the listeners out there, we're 3 students here at Texas State University, and Texas State this semester pushed classes in person. They pushed them back 2 weeks, so we had the first 2 weeks of our semester were online. So that's why, you know, Ernesto and Miguel were both out of town for so long.
And then we had that winter storm,
Oh yeah.
which they canceled 2 days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like a Thursday and a Friday que cancelaron, no?
Well, let's start from the beginning. What did you
And
guys?
then it was TME.
Oh yeah, and there was
What?
TMEA.
What did you guys do after we went for break?
Well, I went back home to California and I went to go visit family. That was really cool. I went to go gig with some friends out there, the Mariachi Santa Cruz. Saludos to my boys out there.
Jonathan Clark, I saw you.
Oh
post
yeah,
that on
I went to go play
Facebook.
with Jonathan Clark. That was really cool. I'm in a group called Mariachi Estelar. It's funny because that was one of the groups I started playing with when I was like starting mariachi, and it's cool to go back and, you know, see the director and talk to him again, and to meet, you know, Jonathan Clark again, or not to meet him, but like to see him again, you know, after it had been such a long time since I had seen him. But other than that, I spent a lot of time with my family, which was great, and you know, just hanging out and gigging. A lot of fun.
You worked December 12th here, though, right?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I worked here December 12th. Virgen, I worked it here in Texas, and then the next day, like in the morning, is when I flew back to Califas.
All right. What about you, Ernesto?
Basically did the same thing. Just spent time with my family. I went a gig a couple of times, but other than that, I just rested. You know.
Did you work December 12th?
Día de la Virgen?
Yeah.
Nah.
You didn't?
Did I?
You said you were gonna work.
Did I? I can't remember. Maybe I did. I'm not sure.
You're super young. You shouldn't be forgetting things so easily.
I'm very forgetful. I don't know. I think I did, but I'm not sure.
Well, I flew back as soon as I could.
Oh yeah,
It's just,
you're always flying back, dude.
well, yeah, that's because I get depressed here, man.
No,
Not because it's because of my family. You know, that's the only
yeah,
reason.
you got family.
Because you know, I do have fun here and stuff, but
You got a wife and kids back.
I have
there.
a wife and kids back home, so I have to go back as often as I can. But I worked December 12th out there.
How was that?
It was good.
In
you know.
Chicago, it snows over there, right around that time, right? So
Yeah.
did you have snow when you were doing your gigs?
I don't remember. I don't think we did. I don't think we did, but yeah, I gigged here and there, and then I caught COVID over that break, which is fine because now I'm like a little bit more relaxed.
No saying.
I don't think I can get COVID for at least 3 months or something. I don't even know.
I don't know what
anymore.
research you're looking into.
I heard
but-
it was just 2 weeks.
I'm just glad I'm here in Texas. I don't have to wear a mask all the time.
yeah,
In Chicago, they're like really strict and stuff.
And California too. You can't, like, my family and I on what is it, like New Year's Day, the day after, we decided to go to San Francisco to go eat and whatever, and we pulled up to this one restaurant, and this guy, he's like, hey, do you guys have your vaccination cards? So yeah, my mom and all of them had theirs pulled up, and me, I didn't think about bringing it with me because, I mean, obviously out here in Texas we don't need it. So I was able to get a copy over from the university because they sent me a copy, whatever. And what do you call it? I showed it to the guy at the restaurant, and he's looking at it, and he was looking and looking at it, like I guess trying to find my name or whatever. And then he goes, "Oh, it's from Texas. You guys do things differently out there." All gotcha. I was like, pues, qué triste.
I actually got COVID too. It was like the first week of school.
We got it around the same time. I remember you telling me, but I got it first, and then you got it like a week later.
Yeah, I think I got it like at a show. I want to go see John Milton.
Who?
John Milton. Yeah,
I
the
don't
guy that
know.
hypnotizes people.
No,
I don't like being
that sounds like
hypnotized.
videos.
Yeah.
It's a show. It's a pretty good show.
Wait,
and
you went to go see it live?
Yeah, and then people go up on stage and he does like
Brujeria.
no, he does like a show, like a comedic show. Like he does like les dice, pues que de que vienen los policías, whoever dances the best is gonna survive. All right, and then they all start dancing, and it's super funny because you see people like
Yeah.
it's crazy. People say dumb stuff. But yeah.
Well,
I think I got it there.
Were you wearing your mask?
Yeah. We were actually also like there wasn't a lot of people because of COVID.
Because Ernesto is one of the few people here at Texas State that doesn't wear their mask.
I do wear my mask.
Yeah,
I
right.
do wear my mask.
When?
In
I never
classes.
see you wearing it.
In classes like oral skills and music theory, where we have to sing like it's a closed space. Yeah, I wear my mask.
I don't
That's
believe
good.
it. I don't believe it.
All right, whatever.
Well, no, it's funny because I could say, okay, I got COVID, but I also didn't.
Come on, man, you don't wear a mask either.
Pues tú
Well,
tampoco.
I
No,
just
actually,
started.
you do.
I
You
just
do
no,
sometimes.
I just started this semester because I caught COVID already, so I'm a little bit more relaxed. Last semester I was wearing it all the time though.
Come on, man.
Well, like I was saying, I got COVID, but I didn't. So it's funny because I got.
You cannot get COVID but not get it.
No, listen to me, dude. Listen. So
Oh.
there's 2 testing sites here on campus. There's one of them, which is that little campus testing kiosk right in front of Flowers Hall, and then there's another one that's inside of LBJ, the LBJ Student Center. Well, I had accidentally registered for the one in the LBJ Student Center rather than the one, the other one that's there at the kiosk or whatever. So I was like, you know what? I showed up to the other one. I was like, I'll just get a test here because they're all free, right? So I got a test at the Flowers kiosk, and then I went to the LBJ Center, and I got a test there. I waited like 3 days because I had just come back from California. I was feeling kind of funky, and then I got a positive result from the one at LBJ Center. And mind you, only 15 minutes before that test, I had gone to the kiosk that's at the Flowers building, and that test came back negative.
Were you feeling sick though?
No, that's the thing. Like I had like maybe like a minor stuffy nose, but I think it was just allergies. But it's crazy how one place told me, yeah, it was positive. The other place was negative. But what I think is funny is how I put in one of them, yes, I was in contact with people who had COVID, right? Because obviously I was traveling. So I just put that, and that was the one that came back positive. And the one that I put, I didn't have any contact with anyone, was the one that came back negative. So, conspiracy theorists, do what you will with that. But I still, took my precautions and stayed home and all that stuff. But it's just, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. Also, Ruben Fuentes.
Oh, Ruben
Yeah.
Fuentes también, he passed away.
Yeah, recently we had Vicente Fernandez pass away, and Ruben Fuentes, 2 major people in the world of mariachi. Ruben Fuentes, a great composer.
And because Vicente Fernandez passed away, we're actually doing a tribute to Vicente Fernandez for our concert here with the mariachis here at Texas State.
Oh yeah,
So that should be pretty fun.
yeah.
And hopefully we can do some Ruben Fuentes stuff for the Feria del Mariachi. That would be kind of awesome to pay tribute to him too.
Yeah.
Because he's a very important person in the mariachi world. Not as known as Vicente Fernandez, but
But he still made some of the songs that were super, super well known, such as, was it La Bikina, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, was it La Bikina?
well,
We
Well-
can't say officially.
Yeah.
You don't
There's-
have
well, it's registered for under his
Yeah.
under his son, or is it registered under him?
under his son.
I'll say it.
Wow.
But there's controversy behind that. But he's made some really great songs, really great guapangos. Overall, overall, it's been a crazy past couple months for us.
Oh yeah, we went to our first TMEA.
Oh yeah, we went. I went to my first.
You've
TMA.
never been to TMEA?
No.
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 I mean,
I mean,
I was supposed to go my senior year, but it got canceled because of COVID.
No, but TMEA was definitely an experience. It was really cool. The night before, Ernesto had invited me, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I had my class that we have on Fridays, or my class on Fridays. It was canceled, so I was like, you know what? Cool, yeah, I'll go. So
maybe you should like explain what TMEA
yeah. So
is.
TMEA stands for Texas Music Educators Association, and it's this huge convention and expo that they throw out in San Antonio at one of the San Antonio convention centers that's out there. And oh my God, is it cool, dude? It's a trip. Like for me, I mean, like I play music, I play mariachi, but I'm not really, big on the classical music scene or really anything else like
Really?
that. Yeah.
But you played in the, what is it?
Well, yeah, but as a kid, but I don't.
No, but you played in the, what was it?
Ah.
What's the name of that
Ya van a
symphony?
empezar otra
Orchestra?
vez.
What was it?
It was like the youth symphony, dog.
The San Francisco Symphony
Sí,
Orchestra.
in the
I
San
thought
Jose.
that you would
San
be like a big
Jose.
fan of classical
The
music.
No.
San
Dude,
Jose.
that's why I stopped playing classical music, because I didn't like it.
Oh,
But
wow.
it was really cool. I mean, for all the people that don't know what TMEA is, I mean, it's all the Texas music educators. They all get together and go to this big old convention and expo.
And it's not just one style of music,
No,
they
it's
have
multiple.
mariachi, jazz.
Well, they have
orchestras,
jazz, orchestra,
band.
yeah, band and all that. Mariachi is very small though, compared to everything else. It's very, very small. Like out of all the booths in that building, there were only 2 booths that were in mariachi, which was the Mariachi Clothing Company and Mariachi Connection.
But at least they have something.
Yeah, but still, and then you look at the instruments that they had, and they're not.
In Illinois, where I'm from, a lot of people don't know that Chicago is part of a state, Illinois. But I'm from Illinois, and we have the same thing. It's called IMEA. Instead of TMEA, it's IMEA. And it's the same thing. And I've never seen a mariachi booth there. So just having that mariachi booth here at TMEA, it's different for me, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was huge. I remember when Ernesto and I both walked in, it was like, to me, obviously I had never gone to something like that, It's funny because I was comparing it to a convention that I had gone to, which is called the World Ag Expo, the World Agricultural Expo. And it's held out in Tulare, in California. It's a massive agricultural convention, and they got tractors and stuff out there. It's super, super cool. Huge, right? And this is like, I guess, the Texas music educators equivalent of that. You walk in and you see rows and rows of, stands selling instruments, mouthpieces, trombones, trumpets, flutes, like I said, you name it, it's there, which is really, really cool. And you just constantly, you just hear music, it's nothing, too specific, but you could just hear, people practicing different instruments because they're about to buy something or whatever.
They're testing them out.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard that you saw your old friend, Jose Hernandez.
Yes, I did. I saw my old friend, Jose Hernandez. Saludos. It was really cool. He was the conductor for the TMEA All-State Mariachi group. Ernesto, I mean, you know more about All-State stuff than I do because I'm not from here, so...
Oh, yeah.
So how does that work? Do they try out or what? Or do they go and scout people? Or
No, they pass out music excerpts that you have to play from. It's either classical or pieces from mariachi music, and you audition. I think this year was online. You had to record it and send it through computer, and then they just choose. They choose people for the region, and then from those region, the ones that make it to the region, they compete to All-State, and then they go to All-State and they stay there for like the whole weekend.
there was a lot from your high school group I saw on that video that you sent me. I didn't go to the TMEA, although I wanted to go because I was in Chicago for the
I think
weekend.
they had the most students there, honestly, from one school. Yeah.
Well,
There were 2 kids from Dallas, Fort Worth. What do you call it? Saludos al Dylan Baker, the guitarron player.
2 from Mike High, which is a purple, the Vihuela, and the section leader. And I think that's it. But yeah, they rehearsed for like 2 days.
And they sounded really, really good.
Hernandez.
Were you there, Rudy? Did you go to that?
Yeah, I went to their little rehearsal that they had here. I think I have a little recorded clip of it if you guys want to hear it.
And then the concert was pretty good.
Yeah,
they sounded.
I heard people were crying there at the concert, bro.
Yeah, I almost cried.
Why?
I don't know. It just brought me back memories.
You got
Yeah.
you got
So
goosebumps.
this is a little bit of them. This
Yeah,
is,
I saw my friends there too.
one of the songs that they performed this year was Fiesta en Jalisco, and so here's a little. So it was pretty cool. See high school kids, getting into it. For me, obviously, it's always cool to see because in California we don't have that. It's more prevalent here in Texas.
You don't have what exactly?
Like the high school mariachi, like how I hear.
You don't
they
have high school? I thought you did. California doesn't? No, really?
Some schools. Have.
Yeah, some, but it's very, very few.
Yeah.
Even then, it's not as big as it is out here in Texas.
I went to the Las Vegas, what was it? A conference, I guess, for music ed consultants. And Jose Hernandez was there. They had some of the Las Vegas groups play there, and they were middle schools and high schools. They sounded pretty good. I was kind of amazed because, like I said, in Chicago, we're in the baby steps.
Well, those schools also come and compete here in San Antonio for the Vargas Extravaganza.
But they never win.
I never said that.
You said that last time, no?
No,
That the Valley groups always win.
I'm just saying. I mean,
But you did say that last time.
this past year they took the 3 spots, all Valley School.
But see.
Oh, wow.
Oh, we can't all be raised in the Valley.
We can't be all, professionally trained. That's not okay. No, not the guys. But, what do you call it?
How do you think I feel, man? I have to be in the same section as Ernesto. I feel I feel intimidated because he's from the Valley and I'm from Chicago.
Oh my. And Fiend, it's been a crazy past couple months. A lot of drama. Well, I don't want to say drama, but just some confusion, I guess you could say, with Plantas as well.
Yeah,
Here in San Marcos.
that's our topic for today. We're gonna be talking about Plantas and how Plantas used to be when I started back in. When did I start playing mariachi?
Del año del caldo.
No, it was like 2004, 2005. I had just graduated middle school, and we had a planta. What does a planta mean?
Okay, so a planta basically means like a base restaurant that your group plays at. So, for example, for the general public, they'll usually see signs or Facebook posts that, every Friday from, 8 to 10 o'clock, this mariachi will come and play, right? Well, it's usually because the mariachi has a contract with the restaurant where the mariachi will charge them a certain amount, and depending on the deal or the type of contract that they have, the actual mariachi will sometimes charge tips, or they'll just play the entire night, based off of the pay of the restaurant. But they have a deal with the restaurant where they come back every single week at a certain time. Like, it's a certain deal, obviously. So the planta is just basically means like it's a base place where they come back and play every week, where you know for sure that they'll be back to play. For us mariachis, it's cool. There's whenever we get called to help with plantas, or if we're ever in groups that do have plantas, it's always good to have a base because even if it's a slow night, you'll make something at least. But also depending on how you run the planta, how many people are there, what the actual kind of restaurant it is, or how busy it gets. Those are all huge factors into depending on how your night will go.
Well, when I started, what did I say, 2004, 2005. A lot of mariachis didn't have like their websites or Facebook to promote their mariachis. So we had some plantas when I started. We had Six Flags Great America, and it wasn't Chicago. It was it's Gurney, Illinois, where we have our Six Flags Great America.
Yeah.
And then across the street we had a planta. It was a restaurant called Tacos El Norte, and that was on Fridays. And then at Six Flags we were playing. Actually every day for the summer. So that was our planta there, and that's where we would have most of our gigs. It was like on the border of Illinois and Wisconsin. So most of our gigs were in that area because the people who would come and see us at our planta would hire us to go to those events. What's your experience with plantas?
So the first planta I ever went to was a planta with a mariachi group called Mariachi California de Javier. I'm forgetting his last name. I think it was Javier Vargas. Oh, yeah, Javier Vargas. And it was a group out there in Watsonville, California, with a real popular trumpet player. His name is John Ralston. Super great guy. But that was the first time I ever did a planta, and it was at a restaurant called Jalisco's, and I mean, it was pretty cool because I didn't really understand that whole concept of, going to a restaurant that you're gonna make money based off of your tips, or I didn't really get that, obviously, because I wasn't really in that much. But I remember the first night I did that, it was super cool, and then one of the memories that I have of that was we would all get this huge plate, which had steak, chicken, and shrimp and all that, and we'd get that for lunch, and then we'd all split it with the tips that we had, right? So that was really, really cool. But that was kind of my first experience with plantas, and I would help them, fairly consistently every now and then on guitarron, and that's where I learned a lot of, the repertoire that I have today is all from there.
Yeah, plantas are good because you get to practice what you've rehearsed with the band. Sometimes you want to rehearse a song or something, and then the clients, like if you go to a gig, they don't always ask for it. So the plantas is an opportunity to play those rehearsed songs or pieces that...
But then it also does get kind of boring because, there could be a planta, for example, where you could have 4 people asking for Hermoso Cariño on the same night, right? So you're playing that song 4 times within the matter that you're there.
Yeah, but if you have a bass pay, you don't have to play what the clients ask you for. You could just be providing, the music.
If the restaurant pays you for the entire
because there's different types of plantas. Like in Chicago, they don't really have that where. Okay, maybe there's 1 or 2 restaurants where you go and the mariachi's like the entertainment for dinner, where they don't walk around the tables. Like, in California, the Sol de Mexico, Los Camperos, where they play on a stage and they play, their rehearsed show.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one type of planta. And then we have the plantas where...
You play like the first 2 songs for the restaurant and
then you go to table because you're trying to get tips or whatever.
Yeah. Or sometimes there's places that say, hey, the first song is, courtesy of the house, and then any song after that is like $20 or however much.
Yeah, it's just changed a lot. I don't know about here, but in Chicago, like I said, we would get a base pay, and then after the time that we were hired for, we could go and play for talon, right? But then what mariachi started doing is they would go to restaurants and say, hey, if you let us play here, we won't charge you a base, but just let us go and play for the tables, and we'll charge the tables for the songs. And sometimes, depending on the restaurant, that works out. And then there was also some mariachis that would actually pay the restaurant so that they could go there exclusively, so that no other mariachis could come and work there.
For example, nowadays we have El Mariachi Los Vargas out in San Antonio, and they play at a super good seafood restaurant called El Bucanero. But they pay El Bucanero, the restaurant, they pay to play there. But you call it every month.
Yeah. Now that I don't agree with, because I feel like you're what is it? Devalorizing? What was the
Devaluing?
Devaluing? What's the correct term? I don't even know. It's
it's
super late right now, though. Wait, yeah, go ahead.
That happened a lot in the valley too. I've only gone once to do a planta, and it wasn't even a planta. It was just alone at a restaurant in back in the valley, and we weren't okay with it because the owner wanted to take part of the tips, and we were just playing for tips. We weren't paying, we didn't have a base or anything. And we didn't get much, I drove an hour to get there, and then we get like just what I need to eat dinner that night.
Yeah, it's weird, man. Sometimes you get good plantas where they'll pay you a base, they'll give you free drinks, they'll give you food and everything, and then sometimes you'll get those plantas where, and I guess it's the mariachi's fault sometimes, that. They're not willing to fight for the value of the music,
Yeah, you kind of gotta know how to play the game. Yeah, so I have a group. I'm the director of a group here in San Marcos, and we're called Mariachi del Rio, and we play at a restaurant every Sunday, and it goes really well for us. We don't have a set contract with them, which is really cool.
We don't play there every Sunday.
Well, no, not every Sunday. Whenever we can, But that's part of, I guess, our little deal that we have with the manager on Sunday mornings, is that we'll go in whenever we can, and in the event that we do go in, they give us a free plate of food because we don't charge the restaurant anything to play there, and they don't charge us anything. We just charge each table individually. But even then, even charging tables has changed so much over time. Remember back then when it was strictly cash. Nowadays, because of all these technological advancements that we have, people are paying with Venmo, Cash App, Zelle. They're using the little square, right, to swipe their card. So it's funny because when you go to a table, and what do you call it? They go, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have any cash," and then you tell them, "Oh, actually, we take card." Then they're like, "Oh, they got us on that one." So then they end up saying yes the majority of the time. But I mean, Ernesto, I remember. What did you think of the Planta here in San Marcos?
I think it went pretty well. We played two days. You played one. I played two with Miguel, right? Yeah, with Miguel.
Yeah, I was gone for one of those days.
They asked for good songs. I mean, I had a fun time while I was there.
Yeah, I think it's all three of us going. It's always a lot of fun.
You know what's weird though is here in Texas, which I've never seen in Chicago with mariachis specifically, is when you go out to Talon, I've seen as little as 2 musicians.
Oh yeah.
Like a trumpet and a vihuela, which is really weird for me to see. I was like, really? You guys go out to Talon like that?
Like at the Riverwalk, sometimes there's only a guitar and a violin.
And then sometimes it's just the 3 of us, And the people will pay for it. People will pay for it. Over there in Chicago, I've only seen as little as 4 because they want the trumpet, the violin, guitarrón, and vihuela. But here, it's like they're okay with just the violin and la armonía.
For example, I mean, we have our little planta here in town, and it's just vihuela, guitarrón, and violin. And at the end of the day, we managed to pull through it, and we all sing evenly. And it's a lot of fun. It's not just going and playing and working. It's going, playing, and hanging out with friends too, which is
also, I mean, the customers are pretty nice.
Yeah,
the ones we've had.
Yeah,
they're pretty nice and respectful. And
we had one guy just at a table give us was like $200 in a row.
Dude, I remember that. I think it was a Saturday. We were playing. You weren't there, Rudy, but me and Ernesto were standing right there. I think we were talking to a client, and some dude just comes and blows smoke in our faces.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, what? And I was like so upset. And whenever I get upset, I think
like he blew it like on my face, and then I was like, I tried not to look like to him because I was kind of scared, bro.
Mad, yeah.
Like, he's like 6 foot tall.
No, I was really upset, and I wanted to do something, but when I think about that, I just think about my family. I'm just like, don't do it. It's because people are crazy nowadays.
Yeah.
You don't know if they have a knife or a gun. But I was really upset, dude, and I really wanted to say something. Because
it was unnecessary.
What's wrong with those people?
Yeah.
I don't know. I hate people that smoke.
No, and it was very disrespectful because they were Caucasian. They were Caucasian, so it's even like, it's like, dude, you're coming to a Mexican restaurant and you're gonna blow smoke and
disrespect a person's face who's trying to work.
It's just, I don't know. I got really upset. I felt like it was discrimination or something, dude. And I was just really upset. He blew in Ernesto's face, but I saw when that happened, and I really wanted to do something, but
that's a jerk thing to do.
I held back because I was just thinking about.
I would have thrown hands.
We
on
both
sight.
looked at each other. And we were like, "What?"
Yeah, I really wanted to say something, but ni modo, those things happen, and those are some of the things that you have to kind of like endure as a musician, and ni modo, those.
At the end of the day, I mean, it sucks that it happens, right? But I mean, we're there, echándole ganas, right? So, trying to do the best that we can.
One of the things that happened because we started playing on Sundays there is that they took. There was a mariachi that played there on Friday nights, and I would go and help them out sometimes.
You both would, yeah?
And they took away their base pay, because they would pay them on Fridays to play there. They
would pay them their base, and then they would also charge tips, right? But I guess they From what I heard from the group, they had said that the restaurant realized, oh, well, we have people that are willing to come in for free. That's what they had said. That, oh, well, they realize that there's people that are willing to come in for free. So, why should they have to pay a group to come in if there's others that are willing to do it for free?
But the manager told you something else,
Yeah,
right?
but the manager had said something else, and he had said, oh, well, actually, there's no money in our budget right now.
Because of
due
the
to
pandemic.
The pandemic, the Omicron variant, and all that, it's made them financially struggle, which sucks, right? So they have to cut some costs, and one of their costs was the mariachi, which I'm not saying, neither party is wrong or anything like that. It's just, it's just
something
tough.
that
It's tough to
that happened that sucks, and I didn't want anybody to think that we were trying to take anybody's work away.
No, we're just trying to work ourselves.
We weren't going on Fridays, or we didn't tell the managers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Rudy, because Rudy's the band leader. Right? Rudy didn't go in and tell them, hey, we'll charge you less, or we'll come on Fridays for free.
We had just I remember the first time we did it, and we had called them and we said, hey, we're a local mariachi group, and we were just wondering, is it okay if we go by just Sunday morning? And then one of the managers who I had spoken to, he's like, yeah, it's cool, you guys can come in and you guys can come and play. So,
and I never imagined that was going to happen, because from what I know, this mariachi was playing there for several years.
Yeah, they were there for a long, long time.
For a long time, and then for the managers to say, oh, we're not going to pay you guys anymore.
Yeah, because of financial budget cuts and stuff like that. It's just crazy. And it sucks, it sucks. We just hope that the group doesn't think it's our fault or anything like that. But it's just, right now, it's a crazy world that we're in. Obviously, not everything is going to be super stable because of the pandemic, and obviously because of supply shortages that are all around the world right now too. But it is what it is.
So how about that winter storm we had?
Dang, that was crazy. Well, it wasn't bad like last year's. Thank God. Last year there was snow and all that jazz, but this year it was
just cold.
It was just cold, and it was just ice.
Yeah, a little bit of ice.
Yeah, a little bit of ice. We had rode out the little storm, if you will, at Miguel's place, which is pretty cool. We made some good food. We made some ribs, caldito. What else did we make? What was quesadillas? ¿Cómo? De Garibaldi?
Well, my dad says that when he used to work at Garibaldi,
Mm-hmm.
he had some quesadillas,
Mm-hmm.
and it's basically just beans, ham and cheese and a tortilla,
Mm-hmm.
and then
fried.
the salad. Yeah, it's fried, and then the salad with the onion, tomato, and chile jalapeño.
Yeah, the salad is just that onion,
and
tomato.
limes and and salt.
A lot of lime, salt, and that's really, really good. Probably one of the best dishes I ate, and it's really good. I really liked it. But we made that, which is really cool, and we just hung out practicing music and watching mariachi videos and stuff like that. So it was cool. It was cool. Just the ice was really, really bad. All the cars were all frozen. People were trying to get into their cars, but they couldn't because the ice was so thick on the outside.
It's crazy how everybody freaks out. Like HEB was like,
oh my god, yeah,
super
HEB
packed.
was completely empty. Yeah.
It was like the beginning of the pandemic all over again.
Yep.
no, but here in Texas they take the cold weather really seriously, because you guys don't have salt, none of this.
Well, yeah, I mean, then again, you have to realize, dude, we live in Texas. We don't expect for snow to happen, especially here in Central Texas. Here in Central Texas, it gets super hot over the summer, super hot and humid, and then when it does get cold, I mean, it gets cold, but it doesn't ever freeze over like it ever has, So that's why I guess we don't really prepare for it as much, like you guys do in Chicago.
Well, yeah, I'm used to the cold weather, so that's why I was like, why is everybody freaking out? But yeah, it was pretty cold.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, on that Thursday that it was super cold. It was colder than it was in Chicago. Actually, I checked the weather, and it was colder here than it was out there.
But think about that though, dude. That's freaking crazy. That it's colder in Texas than it is in Chicago, in January.
And that's because it wasn't
January, February.
And that's because it wasn't really cold in Chicago that day. That's why. That's why Texas beat them.
I see.
No, it wasn't below zero or anything. When it gets below zero, it gets pretty cold, man.
Pues me imagino que sí. But here, everyone just gets crazy because, I mean,
And it just feels weird because it's usually, you know.
Oh, it's because last time we had power.
Last time we had
outage.
power out. Yeah, everyone was traumatized from last year because last year we had power outages. People were left with no water, no heat, no
I remember
nothing.
my friend. He stayed with his sister in San Antonio. He's from the valley. Juan Garcia, shout out to him. And there was no light, and they had to ¿cómo se prender lumbre?
Yeah.
From a chimney because they were freezing. They wouldn't have the lumbre. They would have
Froze, yeah.
Yeah, they would have froze, and it was crazy.
Like here, thank God, my apartment this past year, I didn't run out of what do you call it? I mean, we had power outages, but it wasn't as bad as a bunch of my other friends. My water was still running, which was really cool. So my internet at my apartment complex was really good. So everything in my apartment kind of stayed on pretty well compared to the other places here in town. But there were moments where I would run out of what do you call it? Electricity, and it was, I mean, not gonna lie, dude, like living by yourself, and because at the time I remember I was living by myself, it gets kind of scary, dude. It gets kind of scary, like
You start questioning life.
nah, but tampoco. It's just like it's kind of scary because you have candles lighting up the room, right? And it just flickers, and then it starts getting really cold. So I remember I was like bundling up like crazy, but and it's funny because that was when they canceled school for like the whole week, and like I started losing a sense of time.
Yeah, they did cancel class for us.
Yeah,
but
this
it was
year
only,
they canceled it again.
It was only for 2 days.
Yeah,
So
Thursday and Friday,
So we had a 4-day weekend,
which was pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's
it
pretty
was
cool.
very fun.
I saw some pictures and videos of like people sliding down the hills.
Oh yeah,
Of the
Really?
snow.
I didn't see
That was
none
like
of
last year.
yeah,
Oh,
last
I
year.
thought you meant this year.
Last year.
No, last year when I had seen the snow, it was really really cool. And then obviously like all these kids at the place where I live, now they're all running outside making snowmen and stuff like that. And then like within an hour, yes, I'm fell out on right. Everyone's like, all right, snow can leave, and it wouldn't go away for like the next 3 days.
Snow White's a miracle for us, dude.
Oh, see, yeah. Here in Texas too. I mean, you gotta look at it that way. But all in all, I mean, it's a crazy start to the year. School was pushed back 2 weeks. We had school canceled for the snow. School was also canceled for TMEA. Yeah, it's.
What are
been
you
a lot.
guys? What are you guys looking forward to this semester?
My graduation.
Oh yeah, Rudy's graduating.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm going to my second year of college.
that's exciting.
That's crazy.
Congratulations.
It went by super fast.
See, it's crazy because we were talking about it earlier today that it's crazy how the year has already
I know.
gone by so fast. We're already midway February. Today's the 15th, and
Like 2 months and a half.
This semester for me as a grad student is a little tougher than last semester. I don't know why, but I just feel overwhelmed sometimes.
yeah, I feel that a lot of my classes we have essays and stuff like that. Like that seems to be the big trend this year is essays rather than tests and quizzes.
I honestly feel like I haven't learned anything since those 2 weeks of online.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my professors, like they didn't like explain anything that much, and then when we came back, they expected us to like already
know
know it all.
everything?
Yeah, and it was weird. It was
Come on, why
tough
don't you know it all, dude? Come on.
because it's weird doing online. You know,
Well,
you're
yeah,
not
it
really
is.
paying attention. I don't
No,
think
yeah, no.
anyone is.
No, no one does. I mean,
But-
I do though. I do. I'm
I
just
don't
saying
know.
that because my parents are probably gonna listen. But I mean, what do you call it? Paying attention, it is hard, dude. Online classes are hard. I know my sister. She did online classes for her school, and I know she would have a a hard time sometimes paying attention, and it sucks, dude. It sucks.
Well, especially when you're music students, and then
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to, you can't even like play together
Yeah.
or anything like that.
And then you
so-
gotta be careful too where you live, depending on your instrument. Like for example,
Oh,
if you play trumpet.
for me, it was really hard because I was back in Chicago, so I was with my kids and my wife, and like I couldn't find a room that was quiet enough for me to like pay attention, to focus, to concentrate.
Yeah.
So that was the tough part for me. And then when I'm over here, I'm by myself, so I can find that time to focus and do what I have to do. But
Yeah.
anyways, like we're trying to keep this podcast under an hour, so I think we're gonna call it here.
Yeah.
We're trying to get back into the groove of it. A lot of things happened, and unfortunately, we weren't able to record this podcast in January. But nevertheless, we're here and,
Yep.
and we're trying to keep going with this. That was our New Year resolution, right? To keep going with the podcast, and hopefully we can come out with these a little bit more.
Yeah. Like Miguel said, we're sorry we kind of lagged behind, but then again, we do have circumstances that are beyond our control, right? But we want to thank you again very much for listening to us. It's great to have y'all back. And,
I think we should have a guest for next time.
Yeah.
I think people are going to be bored of listening just to the three of us.
For those of
we
you,
should start an Instagram too.
And then, we'll start those things.
for those of you that have our contact information, me, Miguel, or Ernesto, feel free to shoot us a message if you guys would like to hear.
I mean, I'm going to post this on
Yes.
YouTube too. So
Yeah.
if you have any topics that you think we should bring
Put 'em in
up,
the comments.
let's put it in the comments or whatever, and we'll talk about those things, based off of our experiences, or maybe we can bring a guest that knows a little bit more. I'd like to bring Mr. Guzman on here at some point. Jimmy, because he owns. Well,
He owns a music shop here in town, and that man is a very well-traveled musician, really talented individual. But all in all, we're gonna get back into it this year. We're gonna have a fun time doing it, and again, we just want to thank y'all very much for, holding on with us. Like we said, it's been a while, but we're gonna try to push these episodes out as much as we can.
Ernesto, say something.
Thank you.
No,
Yeah, I mean, just expect more content.
Yep.
Pretty much. Thank you.
Yeah, but again, from your friends here at El Balcón Mariachero, we want to thank you very much for tuning in.
Yeah, that's not the name, bro.
El Balcón
I
Mariachero.
told you this name was gonna be hard, right? The
Es el
first,
Callejon.
the first.
Oh, El Callejon. Dude, I think I said El Balcón at the beginning.
Did you?
I think so.
Okay, for everyone listening, I told you that this name was terrible, but Rudy and Ernesto wanted to do
No,
this.
let's try it again. Ready?
No.
Let's try it again. Ready?
No,
Ready?
no.
Let's try the salida again.
No, I don't want to cut anything out. Let's just keep it going.
All right. Well, friends, from your friends here at El Callejon Mariachero, we'd like to thank you very much for tuning in with us today. And we will see y'all next week with a new episode. My name is Rodolfo Vega.
My name's Ernesto Saldaña.
And I'm Miguel Cervantes. I hope you guys have a great day.
And y'all enjoy. And we will see you guys in our next episode.